So, hello everyone, this is Meredith and Paul from the Lansing Journal, and we just attended the Village Lansing Board meeting. So, Paul, you want to kind of talk about what they approved tonight?
Yeah, so as normal, the way the village does it is they have their regular board meeting on Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock, and then they follow it with the committee of the whole meeting where they kind of discuss what's going to be a lot of times voted on at the next village board meeting. So at the regular meeting, one thing, they approved a lot of things that I had written about previously that maybe you saw. So one of them being the tax incentive, Class A real estate tax incentive for Great Escape, the big like pool company, I guess pool and billiards and patio furniture, to come to the property on Exchange Avenue that used to be the Silver Line windows and doors, and there's still a trucking company that operates out of about a third of that building. So they approved that, so it looks like that will be coming to Lansing. And then they approved for some auto sales on Bernice Road. And this is more not like a big auto place, but a place that specializes in Corvettes. And so it would be more of like internet sales, not so much a lot of people coming there to buy. But they had to make some, the village board had to make some accommodations, like they had already made it so that they didn't need an acre. It used to be that you needed at least an acre worth of land to sell cars. And so they reduced that for this purpose, and then also they don't need as many parking spaces as they would have had to in the past. So that should be coming to Bernice Road. Fans of food trucks, they did approve the ordinance where they're trying to limit how food trucks operate in the village. Some of you might see that they may pop up occasionally here or there, or quite regularly, I think, at a parking lot at a business on Burnham. And so now the village is kind of wanting to limit those so that they don't cut into the business of regular brick and mortar stores that are already selling food, and there's also a concern that they don't have to go through like health inspections. And so now food trucks then would be limited to like licensed events, like, they're having something at the Fox Point or the Fort Hangar, or like a private birthday party or whatnot. Let's see, what else did I have? Police and fire reports were given about what happened in March, how many calls they made, and that sort of thing. What else did we have? Oh, it was announced there's going to be a first ever aviation day at the airport on April 30th, and that's more I think geared towards the school age, high school, middle school students in the village who will be attending.
And then going to the committee of the whole meeting, which immediately followed the regular meeting. They discussed a couple different things that we've also reported on. One was connecting some of the trails in Lansing ahead of the American Discovery Trail kind of launch.
Yeah.
So we should have some information on that coming out soon. One of the big things they talked about with the fire department is upgrading some radios. So basically they're going from analog transmission to digital transmission. They mentioned like 23, 24 something area departments around Lansing have already switched. And so if they want to communicate with those departments, they have to upgrade their radios. And so that's also, a lot of the Indiana fire departments too have switched to that. So basically in the future, all fire departments are just getting on this bandwidth. So that's going to cost them to install the mobile radios on the fire trucks, the ambulances, the mobile command units, about $74,000. The good news is it's already budgeted in this year's budget. So all the funds are already accounted for, and it looks like it's going up for vote next meeting.
Yes, and then also another thing involving the fire department was Fire Chief Coenga talked about a program that he had introduced, I think it was last year, that I'd written about, called Project Lifesaver, and that's something where people in the village who qualify would wear like a wrist or ankle bracelet. People who have tendency to wander, like maybe if they have autism or Alzheimer's or something that would make them a threat to wander away from their home, this will be able to help to track where they're at. And so Chief Coenga was saying that this is planning to avail this next month but on a limited basis. I think they're going to get a trial run to work out any kinks, and so maybe start with 2 or 3 people, and then next year it should be more widespread enrollment in that.
And that's just going to be for Lansing residents, you did mention.
Right.
They had some questions about other people from other towns wanting to join, but it's
Yeah.
the nature of the program. It's only just going to be for Lansing.
Mm-hmm. And then we talked about the facade program. They got Mikowski Sausage is looking to take advantage of the facade program, and they've made many improvements to the 2 buildings on Chicago Avenue, I think. So I don't know. Is there anything else people should know?
I think that was it. So as always, we'll have stories, all of this at lansingjournal.org. Paul's going to go back and write up a whole bunch. So we'll see you next time, and enjoy the full meeting video after this.
You know what?
Good evening and welcome to the Village of Lansing's April 21, 2026 board meeting. Will you please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, good evening, everyone. We have Julie Shacatano that will be our clerk for tonight. So would you mind taking roll?
Trustee Massey?
Here.
Trustee Felderwest?
There.
Trustee Smith?
So
Here. Trustee Levinson?
Trustee Nomison is absent with leave.
Trustee Lamont?
Here.
Trustee Valencia?
Here.
Thank you. The minutes we're going to approve at our next board meeting, which will be May 5th. Okay, trustees. So I'm going to kind of move right on down to the mayor's report. The mayor's report, I have a couple items. The first item I'd like to start off with would be with Mr. McCoy, our Lansing Youth Aviation Career Day. That's going to happen one day next week. So, Mr. McCoy?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready, sir? Of course
Yes,
you're
sir.
ready.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, thank you.
All right, good evening to the village, mayor, trustees, administration. All right, thank you guys for having me, and thanks for giving my firm an opportunity to advance some opportunities here in the village. Just as I said I would, and I think just as the vision for the community is. On the 30th of April, which is next Thursday, we are having a Lansing Youth Aviation Career Day. And the purpose of that day is to expose our young people in the community to different careers in aviation. This is our first annual event, and so we may not have the total array of careers that are representative in aviation, but this is our first attempt, and I think we're doing pretty good. On this slide here, we're talking about why, right? So Career Day will showcase the following opportunities. We're gonna have basic instruction to principles of aerospace flight. That's me. I'll have a slide or two talking about the different principles of aviation and aerospace flight. We'll have a higher education address. You'll see that in the next slide, as we have 2 universities that will be in full effect or attending to display educational opportunities. We'll have civilian aviation employment opportunities. We'll have fixed wing and rotary wing pilot training. Tenants there at Lansing Airport, we have 2. One's regional, and they teach fixed wing, and the other is Summer Skies, and they teach rotary wing, and they both have agreed to participate to some degree in the event. Aircraft maintenance. That's a huge part of aviation, because aircraft can't fly without the thrust component. And the thrust component is always generated by engines. And so we have a great tenant at Lansing, powered by Blueprint and Coletti's. They will also be present, showcasing their capabilities and opportunities with them as well. Drone training, we'll have Governor State University will come and talk about training opportunities for drones. And then we'll have a company called Fact Finding, and they will come and talk about potential employment opportunities once you get your drone certification. So our high schoolers should really be listening. We'll talk about aviation history pioneers, as we have two historical organizations that will come and talk to us. One is the 99ers. That's the all ladies pilot organization that was founded way back during the legendary flight attempted by Amelia Earhart. And she will talk about the chapters around the country and the various events as an all-inclusive to make sure our ladies are participating and feel welcome within the aviation tent as well. We'll have a short talk or discussion from the Tuskegee Pioneers and talk about their great legacy. And then we'll move on to potential aviation scholarship opportunities that will be represented by Tuskegee Next. For those kids that are 18 to 21 that are thinking about a career in aviation as a pilot, there may be applications that will be passed out and filled out for those that want to participate and are looking for scholarship opportunities. And this slide just is representative of the different aircraft and companies that will all be there. In the middle, of course, is a great, what I call the great Lansing logo. To the right, we'll have the Village aircraft, and flanking that, we'll probably have two of the helicopters from Summer Skies, and then we'll have, as part of the tenants, the Auto Gyro Club, as they look to participate in that event as well. Right? So aviation is not just about commercial air travel, military, but it's also about recreation. And the Auto Gyro Club here at Lansing really does reflect that very well. And if I could, I'll go back. We don't have to go back to those slides. I'm sorry. I'll just speak to this. We will have the military there. So the military, the local military recruiting group will be there to talk about different careers for our enlisted folks, as well as opportunities to become pilots in the military. So they'll be representative of the Navy and the Marine Corps, and they'll talk to our young people about, again, opportunities that they can enlist in or become an officer and join the aviation community. And I think that kind of rounds it out. Are there any questions or concerns?
Just wanted to know what time is the event happening on the 30th?
Great question. So we're going to have two sessions. I'm sorry, I did not mention that. We have two sessions. The first session is from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and that will be for the middle schools. Right? So we have ages or grades 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And then in the afternoon, from 12:30 to 2:30, we'll have high schools, North Fractional South, North Fractional North. I think we're anticipating about at least 100 students in the afternoon and about 150 in the morning time. All right, this is really a great opportunity, folks. So if you're in the area and have the time, stop in for one of those two sessions and tell me what you think, how we can modify this to make it bigger, better, and greater next year. I'm really excited because we're giving and exposing our young people to a few different careers in aviation, not just training and education, but potential job opportunities, so they have something to aim for. Because the question always comes up, so what? I get all my education, I get all my training, what do I do with it? On this day, they're going to hear of at least three opportunities that they can join an organization for pay and become a contributing member of society like we all want to know. We have some of the brightest kids in the community, and so I'm looking forward to supporting it.
James, you were talking about maybe some scholarships or something like that as well.
Yes, sir.
So I see you got Lewis University. Now I know Lewis University is an aviational school where they have an aviational class, or right?
Yes, sir, that's correct. They have pilot training, and they also have aircraft maintenance training. So they have two tracks that Lewis is going to talk about. One track, they can talk to you about becoming a pilot and what's involved in that, excuse me for one. And then the other track is going to be maintenance, getting your certification as a maintainer, right? The military is also going to talk about getting a maintainer certification as opportunities are put there. And the scholarship opportunities will come to us from Tuskegee Next. That's a branch of the legacy of Tuskegee where they fund qualified applicants to get their pilot's license, okay? It's not necessarily an inexpensive proposition in some cases, so sometimes we need a little help. And so this group has decided, and they've been doing this, I think, for at least 3 or 4 years, and so they're going to bring the information as leave behinds so the children can take that home and discuss that with their parents or their guardian. What other questions, sir?
Great. And then I know that we have two training schools out there. We have at our airport right here in Lansing. As you said, we have Region Flyers, and they do training, so you can go ahead and become I guess it would be just it's not
You would get
commercial.
no sir, you would get your private
It would be-
pilot's license,
Gotcha.
which you need to become a commercial pilot.
Okay. Now,
Yes,
what
sir.
about summer skies? Because I know one time when I was out there was a young lady studying to fly helicopters, and she was hoping to get in to the Chicago Police Department. So I thought that was kind of neat. So does summer skies help you get, into, besides just, a commercial pilot license?
Yes, sir. So what you can get from Summer Skies, you can get your private pilot's rotary wing license, which is not necessarily easy to come by, if for no other reason. They're the only school that offers that in our local or immediate region. We have a jewel in Summer Skies in that they're the only ones that can do that. And they also offer tours. But I'm glad you mentioned that, sir, because I omitted our Illinois State Air Patrol. They will also be participants and talk to opportunities to join the Illinois State law enforcement community as an air patrol or flyer.
Very nice. And then I know the grade schools are Memorial Junior High School and Heritage.
That's correct, yes, sir. So we'll have, again, about 140 students from Memorial Middle School and also Heritage Middle School. So we're looking forward to those numbers, and we may even have a simulator in the back if the students can relax for a few minutes. We'll give every organization 5 minutes to address the students, and we'll save about 25 to 30 minutes at the end that they can get up and start going around and talking to the different groups that are there to get more questions and pull some of those leave behinds to take home. Any other questions, concerns? All right.
Yeah, so
Thanks,
let's mark
Jim.
the calendar. So,
Thank you.
April 30th,
April 30th,
you got it.
beginning at 9 a.m.
Municipal Airport.
Yes, sir, we'll be there.
And I want to give a big shout out to Tom and Scott out
Yes.
there, because I know that they're going to be setting up the Ford hangar.
Yes,
And I
sir,
know they're
absolutely.
Working with Mr. Reynolds as well, and Michelle on that, with you as well.
And I did want to.
And Laura, and I want to.
Yes, that's
make
right. I
sure
was
that
gonna say
Laura
that.
Pitch gets up.
We would not have made the connection with the 99ers without Laura, so we gotta give her thanks even though she's not. I expected her to seeing her face was gonna be my reminder to say thank you, but since, yeah, so.
You got it.
Great points.
No, I appreciate you
Yeah.
putting this together, and I'm looking forward to hopefully many more annuals.
Yes, sir, you got it. Anything else? All right, have a good day.
Thank you. Moving on to the mayor's report, I have a proclamation that I would love to read. Proclamation recognizing the year of 2026 as a year of celebration of America 250 in the village of Lansing, Illinois. Whereas 2026 marks the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States and the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. And whereas the semi-quincentennial milestone known as America 250 provides an opportunity for communities across the nation to reflect on our shared history of the founding principles of liberty, justice, and opportunity to continue to shape our national character. And whereas the Village of Lansing, Illinois recognizes the important role that villages and local citizens have played and continue to play in shaping the character, values, and future of our nation. And whereas America 250 encourages civic engagement, education, volunteerism, and community pride by honoring our stories, culture, and contributions that form the American experience. And whereas recognizing America 250 enhances public understanding of our shared past and strengths of community participation in historic remembrance. Now therefore, I, Brian P. Hardy, Mayor of the Village of Lansing, do hereby proclaim 2026 as the year of America 250 in the Village of Lansing. And I encourage all residents, civic organizations, businesses, and community groups to participate in commemorative activities, educational programs, and celebrations that recognize the historic event and affirm the commitment to the ideas of the United States of America. Dated this 21st day of April 2026, Brian B. Hardy, Mayor of the Village of Lansing. Thank you. That's all I have on the mayor's report. Mr. Podgorski, it's going to go to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing in this meeting.
Thank you. Our village attorney's report, Mary Claire.
No report, Mayor.
All right, thank you, I appreciate it. We're going to move on to finance and HRC, Trustee Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Village of Lansing. A couple of motions. One to approve bills and total payroll for the periods ending April 6th, April 13th, April 17th, and April 21st. In the amount of total payroll, $754,100.12, and total accounts payable of $2,212,916.19.
We have a motion and a second on total payroll for $754,112.12, and total accounts payable for $2,212,916.19. Are there any questions or discussion? If not, clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Valencia?
Aye.
Trustee Abbasi?
Aye.
Trustee Zeldin-Rust?
Aye.
Trustee Lamont?
Aye.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 1548, authorizing the transfer of incremental revenues from funds of contiguous tax increment financing districts.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on resolution 1548, authorizing the transfer of incremental revenues from funds of contiguous tax increment financing districts. Are there questions or discussions by the trustees? If not, clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Valencia?
Aye.
Trustee Abbasi?
Aye.
Trustee Zeldin-Rust?
Aye.
Trustee Lamont?
Aye.
Right, for monthly reports, I'll pass it over to Director Hannigan for finance report.
Thank you, Trustee Smith. Good evening, Mayor Hardy, Mr. Podgorski, Finance Chairman Smith, trustees, and the Lansing public. We've started preparation of the village's municipal budget for the 27th fiscal year with individual meetings with the larger departments of Public Works, Police, and Fire. Those meetings have been scheduled for the next couple of weeks. We will reach out to the trustees and to Mayor Hardy for schedule in May to follow up on those meetings. This part of the village budget is what I refer to as the individualized meetings with department heads. We'll have meetings with each respective board member assigned to those departments, as I say, in the month of May. There will be 3 meetings scheduled in June and July, which will include 2 workshops with final approval at the village board meeting scheduled for July 21st at the regular board meeting. Although it's not really expected, I think we may reach out to the board to schedule a special meeting in early July if necessary. So I'd like the village board to just at least leave that as a possible opening in that early July period once we have our meetings regarding projects for the next fiscal year. With respect to the operating performance for the village, again, it is mentioned during the finance fiscal report for the first 9 months of the year. The village continues to be on target for a very positive year with a surplus between $1 million and $2 million, depending upon certain accruals for sales tax rebates, etc., which is about 4% of the municipal budget and right on line with what we expected for the year. Through 10 months of the year, again, the board has been told about some of the delays in property tax receipts, which again is a tribute to the village's diversified revenues. The delay was about the tune of about $11 million, 4.3 of which was in pensions, and the remainder in the general fund. If those receipts had come in, we would have been at about 78% of the budget, which is a little off the 83% that we should have been through. That's the guideline through 10 months of the year. The village's property taxes on the pension side, $3.3 million from police. As I mentioned, it was about 4.3 in total for pensions, about 800,000 on the fire side. Again, all that money has come in, but we're still delayed on the reporting from Cook County. I mentioned to the village board that we're also on target for our final debt service payment a year from now. At that point, we'll start to look at some of the other village legacy obligations for fire pension and police pension to replace those debt service payments with legacy payments for pension and some of the long-term obligations that the village has committed to. Cash reserves reflect the 10 months of operating performance. We haven't had a huge increase in cash reserve, primarily because of, as I mentioned, the delay in the receipt of property taxes. But I think by the end of the year, we should, again, our fiscal year closes at the end of April, and I think most of those accruals will take care of most of that. On the insurance side, which if it's all right, Trustee Valencia, I'll jump into that. Our health insurance reserves were in the middle of the open enrollment period. Again, I've spent a lot of these last few months talking about the increase in costs. Again, our budgeted costs this year were about $540,000 a month. We're running at about $575,000 a month. So again, health insurance costs continue to rise for everyone across the country. On the specific insurance reserves, our property and casualty reserve, budget for the year is, we're running about 70% of budget, so that's in line with our original budget. And our general liability claims for things like excessive use of force, et cetera, is running about 80% of budget. So both under the budgeted target for the year. And that completes my report unless the board has any questions.
Finance Director Hannigan, I have one question. Do we budget every year to add to the health insurance reserve?
We do, Trustee.
Okay.
We have used about 500,000 of that reserve net, but we budget for it. So even though our health costs have gone up, we've used about $500,000 net from about 1.6 million where we were 2 years ago. We're about 1.1, 1.2. So we'll have to budget for an increase.
To build that reserve potentially.
To deal with it. Again, we've been into about $500,000 this year from the increased cost. So it's good to have the reserve because it helps us deal with the fluctuations in claims, because as the board knows, we're self-insured. So claims occur, there's no free lunch, right? A claim occurs, the village has to fund it. So that is something we'll have to address in this year's budget to the tune of about $500,000.
Thank you, Finance Director.
Any other questions from the trustees? Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing further.
Thank you. Moving on to airport and insurance, Trustee Lansing.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything on my docket, but we do have our monthly report from the airport, so Tom, take it away.
Thank you, Trustee. On March 5th, Crawford, Murphy, and Tilly CMT engineers set a crew to survey and drill asphalt samples in preparation of the rehabilitation project for roadway 927. This project is scheduled to be submitted for the June 12, 2026 Illinois Department of Transportation letting. After reviewing all samples and documentation, the Federal Aviation Association will determine the project's eligibility and whether a notice to proceed will be issued. On March 19th, the airport staff and CMT had the regular monthly meeting. The main topic was the Quonset Hut Door Project, IGQ 5199. All documentation has been filed and the materials are scheduled to be delivered during the last week of April. Actually, it's been changed to the first week of May, and construction is scheduled to begin during May. On March 20th, Mr. Sam Weiner, Director of Windstar Video Security, gave a presentation to the airport staff regarding cameras and video security options at the airport. He is also a pilot and hangar licensee and is very interested in assisting those with the airport security. Mr. Weiner has several interesting thoughts on camera systems that were communicated to the finance director, head of village IT department, and airport staff. His suggestions include a potential bid for future installations will be considered as part of overall review of the village-wide camera system. Maintenance issues. On March 2nd, All Type Elevator Incorporated performed quarterly maintenance at 3249 Airport Drive. A new emergency phone was installed, wired, and programmed. All functions are in good working order. On March 6th, B&K Equipment performed regular maintenance of the Jet A and avgas pumps. All filters replaced and satisfactory report was received. On March 10th, the state elevator inspector came to 3249 Airport Drive for our annual inspection. He issued a certification with no comments. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Mayor, that's all we have.
Sorry, trustee Ross, I have one item. So, Mayor Hardy and, I sent an email to Mayor Hardy and to Minister Pegorski, the 2 gates that were damaged from late January intruder have been repaired, and I think are in working order right now. I don't know.
The Enterprise Gate got finished today, the north end got finished late morning, yes. All done, ready to go, back in service.
So I think that's positive, but the delay is related to these were specialized parts. You can imagine the tracking system that those are on. I think it's the reason.
And the new gates had to be built, I think it was Minnesota, where they originally were fabricated and then shipped over to us.
So that's again back in working order for the, which is a key thing for the T-hangers, T-hanger licensees at the airport.
Yeah, it's great news. Thank you. Mayor, that's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. We're gonna move on to fire and economic development, trustee Abbasi.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to make a motion we would adopt ordinance number 26-019, supporting a partial Class 8 real estate tax assessment classification application by RBTC LLC for the property located at 16801 Exchange Avenue, Universal Pool Company, doing business as The Great Escape.
Second. We have a motion and a second on ordinance number 26-019, supporting a partial Class 8 real estate tax assessment classification application by RBTC LLC for the property located at 16801 Exchange Avenue, Universal Pool Company, doing business as the Great Escape. Are there any questions or discussions by the trustees? If not, clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Abbasi.
Aye.
Trustee Zelderus.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Trustee Lamont. Trustee Valencia.
Aye.
Thank you, and I believe Mr. Chapman's in the audience. We look forward to your investment in Lansing, and thank you for choosing Lansing.
Congratulations. I'm looking forward to working with you.
I'd like to move on, making a motion that we would adopt ordinance number 26-020, granting a special use permit for a automobile sales use within the B2 Commercial Zoning District. Best Motorsports Corporation, 2861 Bernice Road.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on ordinance 26-020, granting a special use permit for an automobile sales use within the B2 Commercial Zoning District. Best Motorsports Corporation, located at 2861 Bernice Road. Are there any questions or discussions by the trustees? If not, clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Abbasi.
Aye.
Trustee Zelderus.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Trustee Lamont.
Aye.
Trustee Valencia.
Aye.
I'd like to move on and make a motion we adopt ordinance number 26-021, granting a variance from the minimum parking space requirements within the B2 Commercial Zoning District. Best Motorsports Corporation, 2861 Bernice Road.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on ordinance 26-021, granting a variance from the minimum parking space requirements within the B2 Commercial Zoning District. Best Motorsports Corporation, located at 2861 Bernice Road. Are there any questions or discussions by the trustees? If not, clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Abbasi.
Aye.
Trustee Zelderus.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Trustee Lamont.
Aye.
Trustee Valencia.
Aye.
Mr. and Ms. Wilson, congratulations, and thank you for choosing Lansing.
Absolutely. Looking forward to
Good luck in your
it.
business endeavors. I'd like to make a motion we would adopt ordinance number 26-022, amending chapter 28 of the Lansing Code related to peddlers, transient merchants, food trucks, and canvassers.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on ordinance 26-022, amending chapter 28 of the Lansing code related to peddlers, transient merchants, food trucks, and canvassers. Are there any questions or discussions by the trustees? Not, clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Baxi?
Aye.
Trustee Zelderus?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Lamont?
Aye.
Trustee Valencia?
Aye. Thank you, trustees. I'd like to move over to some monthly reports. Turn things over to our fire chief, Chief Pointer.
Thank you, Trustee Abessi. Real quick, just the Lansing Fire Department March report is as follows. Last month, Lansing Fire Department answered 467 calls. That kind of brings our Q1 of 2026 call total to just above 1,300, so a total of 1,334 calls through the end of the first quarter. Again, biggest driver for call volume is, of course, EMS driven, and then followed up by just public service calls as well. Again, our station up to the north tends to be the station that generates the most call volume. Quick drive through our training for the month of March. March, we focus on SCBA training. SCBA is self-contained breathing apparatus. Those are the packs we wear on our back. So that focused on OSHA mandated trainings. We begin the month covering breathing techniques and emergency procedures. Then another kind of milestone in this month is doing a consumption test. And the consumption test basically teaches each firefighter how to, one, conserve their air, and really how long they can stretch that tank in fire conditions. Again, fire prevention and education. The Fire Prevention Bureau conducted 110 fire inspections over the course of March. Included 5 new business inspections. We also did 32 pre-incident plans. And again, we uploaded those into our pre-incident planning software that we use when we arrive on scenes of fire calls. The Fire Inspection Bureau reviewed 59 fire protection system reports that we submit through the compliance engine. And using this system, we found that 53 of those 59 were compliant. So for us, that's a great net when it comes to making sure everybody's towing the line and kind of keeping up with what they need to be done. So with those six remaining, we're going to continue to work on them and get them to comply as well. Again, we attended the Lansing Junior High Basketball Tournament, round 2, hosted by Trustee Malott, and that was a good time. It was fun to watch some basketball. And again, we added 2 more CPR instructors to the department. So we want to try and make a push here coming up mid-year to really kind of have some public offerings for CPR. Other than that, I'm going to save my voice because I have another presentation.
Thank you, Chief. For our economic development report, I'll turn it over to Administrator Bykowski.
Thank you, trustees. Just a couple of items that update our development and administrative and development staff has been working with Tatiana and Mark Rogers during the past month on the Class 8 incentive request that was just approved here a few minutes ago. Working with Cook County on some environmental testing on village-owned properties. And in related circumstances, working with J&D Brokerage, which is owned by Mike Ballich at 2770 British Road. They have cold storage, and they're looking for a place to expand. So we're hoping to find a place for them in town for that. We've mentioned this before. There's a water filtration business that we're walking through planning and zoning steps. I'm expecting to be at the planning and zoning board probably in May for a vacant piece of property. Actually just down the street from Kowski, Poles in the audience here tonight. And then working with several sites that we've been mentioning with monitoring progress. Smoothie King, you see they've broken ground at 17923 Torrance. We were just on the phone yesterday with our attorneys with Icarus Investment on their financing and closing docs for the Winter Tony site on Ridge Road. Met also yesterday with Jorge Trujillo regarding expansion improvements on his Ridge Road property, including hopefully bringing a La Michoacana and the cigar experience at I think 3246. They are getting ready to submit permits because we've heard from the Calumet Region Enterprise Zone. So a bunch of projects either in the works or some of them already getting started, and lots more to come. But that's all tonight.
Thank you, Administrator. Mayor, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. We're going to move on to Police and Public Works, Trustee Zeldin.
Thank you, Mayor. Just had the monthly reports tonight, so I'll turn it over to our Police Chief Phillips. Going to hit some highlights from the monthly report.
Thank you, Trustee. In March, our 911 center handled over 7,000 calls for service. Of that, 4,362 were for police-related incidents. We continue to be heavy on training as we are releasing our new duty weapons into the fleet. So we were fortunate enough to get some new armor classes through Smith and Wesson, and we have several officers that have gone through that. So continue to push training with ERT and CERT. For activities, we had 842 traffic stops, 237 community policing events, and over 1,200 premise checks. For the month, we had 83 arrests and over 200 municipal citations. And we had $17,500 collected in administrative tow fees. LPD attended 2 ribbon cutting events, a McTeacher night at McDonald's, and we also were able to join you at the Lansing basketball tournament held at Freedom Church and Lansing Christian Church. Trustee Lamont, thank you for hosting that. That was a great event and well done. All right, we also hosted another beat meeting in March. I was able to give a preview of the annual report, and Sergeant Tagenhorst broke down some of our stats for the year. Again, this is another great opportunity to get to meet the officers who are responsible for the area where you live. If you are having any issues, you will learn the easiest and quickest way to get them addressed. Tomorrow we have a busy day. We've got Coffee with the Cop coming up at McDonald's from 9 to 11. You might see Sergeant Tagenhurst in the drive-thru serving coffee in the morning. And then in the evening, we're partnering with the HRC, going to be at Memorial Junior High School, and we are advertising again for Child Abuse Awareness Month and piggyback on what we did earlier this month. So we'll be there from 5 to 7 tomorrow night. That's all I have for this evening. Thank you, Trustee.
Great, thank you, Chief. I appreciate you plugging your event for a while before have coffee with the cop. It's always a good time to meet some of our officers and meet with McDonald's. That's at 9?
9 to 11.
9 to 11. Okay, thank you. All right, moving on. I see we have Supervisor Fulton again from Public Works. Would you get the highlights for the Public Works report, please?
All right, thank you, Trustee. 12 Water Division, operations for the past 30 days. Over the past month, the Water Division has refined its preventative maintenance approach with targeted focus on catch basins, storm drains, ditch maintenance, and sewage jetting. These efforts have been directed towards areas of the highest recent concerns, particularly North and South Schultz, where we responded to reports of street flooding, curbside high water, and increased residential inspection requests. Key accomplishments: sewer jetting on demand response, expanded 24/7 rapid response operations utilizing the large back truck. We've completed increased upon request jetting activities. We've removed 30,000 plus gallons of sewage and debris from our systems. Camera inspections within lines to identify structural or blockage concerns. Catch basins and storm drain cleaning. 30 locations have been completed, providing known problems. These actions have improved flow capacity and reduced standing water risks in key corridors. Ditch maintenance. Public Works has partnered with Thornton Equipment to expand water flow capacity and completed targeted work near Burnham and Otto by widening ditches and clearing culverts. That's all I have for today. Thank you, Trustee.
Thank you, Mr. Cole. Just a shout out to the back truck operators, Andrew and Jack. Had an opportunity to interact with them, and they were busy doing some catch basin cleaning. They are dedicated, and they were hitting the village. I think they had hit 28 that day, and they were on course to discover the village. So I know we've had a lot of rain. There's been a lot of thin water on our curbs sometimes when the drain grates get clogged up. But these guys did a great job. I was watching them went out and 30,000 gallons of debris collected out of these catch basins is necessary work. And it just highlights the fact that we've got a solution to the problems when they come to our village. We've got dedicated young guys out there working hard to keep our stormwater moving. So good job to them. And Mayor, that's all I have for tonight's meeting.
I appreciate it, trustee, thank you so much. We're gonna move on to building, IT, L&M, marketing, trustee Lamont.
Thank you, Mayor. We have 2 items today. Make a motion to adopt ordinance number 26-023, approving the final plat of subdivision for the certain parcels of the property located near the northwest corner of Torrance Avenue and 176th Street, Louisville Hotel subdivision, True by Hilton.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on ordinance number 26-023, approving a final plot of subdivision for certain parcels of property located near the northwest corner of Torrance Avenue and 172nd Street, Louisville Hotel subdivision, True by Hilton. Are there any questions or discussions by the trustees? If not, clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Lamont?
Aye.
Trustee Valencia?
Aye.
Trustee Abassi?
Aye.
Trustee Zeldin-Rust?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Second ordinance, I want to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 26-024, authorizing and approving the execution of a Fifth Amendment to the tax increment financing agreement between the Village of Lansing and Louisville Hotel Partners, LLC.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on ordinance number 26-024, authorizing and approving the execution of a Fifth Amendment to the tax increment financing agreement between the Village of Lansing and Louisville Hotel Partners, LLC. Are there questions or discussions by the trustees? If not, clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Lamont?
Aye.
Trustee Valencia?
Aye.
Trustee Abassi?
Aye.
Trustee Zeldin-Rust?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Then we'll move over to our monthly reports. First, we'll do our building department, so our building commissioners.
Thank you, trustee Lamont, appreciate it. The building department issued 152 permits reflecting $2,107,617.44 invested back into our community. Our inspectors have performed 135 home inspections and 116 rental inspections. Our code enforcement officers issued 149 violation notices. These notices do not reflect the numerous conversations with our residents, either by phone or in person, to resolve issues and avoid notices being written. We have some new businesses in town. The first one is God's Love NFP Inc., located at 18525 Torrance Avenue, Unit E5, helping communities, food, jobs, assistance, and homelessness. Nail City LLC is at 16770 Torrance Avenue. This is a nail salon. We have Lita Gus African International Continental is located at 2504 173rd Street. This is African food and intercontinental food service. We have Lions Heart Therapy, Pete LLC, located at 3064 198th Street. This is a psychotherapy office and a home-based business. We have Button and Bow, located at 18319 Sailor Lane. It's an online sewing studio and it's a home business. That's all I have, Trustee Lamont. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to our IT report. IT Director Baby.
Thank you so much, Trustee. For our April report, we wanted to let you know that we've gone fully live with our OpenGov platform. We've finished all the training throughout for all the building department, and we actually are subsequently going through with some of the other departments that we have not finished up with. And tomorrow, actually, we'll be doing the finance department. However, we did all the rollouts, we did all the trainings, everything's been going pretty well. We have some things that we're continually working on, so my staff has been in lockstep with them, with the building department staff, just to continue on with that. And we're still bringing over information from the subsequent other two programs, the rental housing program, as well as obviously Main Star. We continue to work on things as we prepare for the continued build out over the Public Works and Public Works building. And so we're just getting some of the hardware together, such as racks, switches, servers, and so forth. And we're waiting on Comcast to come in and finalize with the installation of the fiber over there. So that should be, we've been told it'll be the first week of May, so we're waiting for that. And then once we have that, then we'll continue on with the rest of our information. And we continue on with planning for Fox Point. So we've been meeting over there and looking through the different things. We just had our video wall installed yesterday. So we take it down during the summer, take it down during the winter. And then once the spring has kind of subsided for the most part, we then brought it back up just to make sure that it lasts a little bit longer for us. So we had that installed yesterday, and then we're subsequently going through all the different programs and different hardware to ensure that everything is smooth for our first opening night. And that includes the POS system, point of sale system, as well as all the cameras, as well as the alarms and so forth there. So we're also working with L&N to work with our video wall piece, just because obviously my staff, we're fairly limited, so we can't always be there every night. So we want to continually train others so that they can take on pieces of the video wall for as we have events. Let's see. We are still continuing to monitor, mobilize all the different things that go with the weather breaking. So that's when we kind of look back and say, okay, now we've had, whether it be cameras or switches or any outdoor equipment that may have been damaged during the winter. Now it's the time for us to kind of really go in, dig deep, and fix all those before the summer starts. So that's what we're at the part of doing right now. So that's all for the IT report. I can go into the L&N report.
Yes, please.
So for L&N, we had multiple events throughout the month. Obviously, as we alluded to before, April is to prevent child abuse, and we had an event kickoff event on April 1st. And so we filmed that, as well as all the different pieces of that, including the tying of the blue ribbons along Ridge Road. We've been working on some additional testimonials for Fox Point, as we have so many guests that come in from not just the Lansing area, but different parts of Chicago, as well as Northwest Indiana and so forth. And there's lots of different areas around our community, so, around our region. So we wanted to get some additional testimonials from people who you would not necessarily always see at Fox Point. I did an episode of Inside Lansing, just kind of talking through the different things that we're working with within the IT department. And so I did that, and then we also highlighted the Lansing basketball tournament, which trustees Lamont and Namison put together. And so we showcased that, and we did a small tribute to that. And we're at cleanup day, and we're looking forward to being at cleanup day, with a Coffee with the Mayor promotion this Saturday, as well as opening day for Little League, which is also this Saturday. So it's a lot of things coming up, and so we're just trying to make sure we capture as much footage as we can.
Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, trustee. We're going to move on to youth center and venue operations. Stepping in for trustee Namison, trustee Lamont, please.
No action items. We just have our 2 monthly reports. So first we'll start with our youth director, Research of the Youth Center.
Thank you very much. In honor of Women's History Month, I'll start off with the events that were covered in March. To celebrate and recognize Oakland Elementary basketball team's seasonal accomplishments, I surprised the girls and boys basketball team during their celebratory party. Each player received basketball-themed gift bags, which included encouraging bracelets for the girls, basketball wristbands for the boys, along with additionally themed goodies and treats. And we also honored their coach for his accomplishment during the season. I attended CETA's The Spaces That Shape Us, Beyond School Youth Leadership, hosted at Doubletree in Alsa. The event focused on youth-centered leadership and empowerment, featuring keynote speaker Galen Elmore. It brought together community stakeholders and youth-led agencies, which provided valuable resources for programming partnerships as well as opportunity for membership referrals. For Women's History Month, I hosted an intimate workshop for a few of my members. Participants were open, and it was a safe space for us to connect with the girls. We provided lunch. They left with empowerment girl-themed gifts. So nothing big, but it was needed for us to connect with our girls during Women's History Month. As far as professional development, I attended a lunch and learn hosted by Gateway for Hope titled The Impact on Trauma and Relationships. Key takeaways included trauma is a common and can negatively impact relationships between youth and their parents. Demonstrating empathy can improve connections and trauma responses and protective survival strategies for youth-led agencies and how we can help our youth deal with trauma as it arises. I also attended a Zoom learning seminar entitled Programs for Our Girls, hosted by She Imprints. The training equipped educators with resources and tools in curriculum design to better serve our girls and enhance program effectiveness. And then I attended another training titled Make It Matter, hosted by After School HQ. This training focused on implementing engaging and relevant curriculum for youth, maximizing program time, and increasing overall impact. And then for those who have packets, there's a few pictures attached with the children with their gifts, and then some clips from our training. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next we'll have our news report.
Thank you, just okay, so I'm filling in for Director of Venue Operations, Ken Reynolds. So the March 2026 monthly report for Fox Point. Interviews continued for seasonal staff help as we continued working to finalize the staff rosters for 2026. Background checks for interested candidates were also arranged. The full public event schedule for the 2026 season is complete. It can be found online at foxpoint.org. The target date for initial distribution of the Fox Point schedule cards will be May 2nd at the Good Neighbor Day Parade. Arrangements were made for the video wall to be installed, and that was completed yesterday. Agreements for weekly or monthly services were established or renewed for the following companies: Scene Test, Hoods, American Lawn, Platinum Pest Control, and True Green. Now on to the Lansing Sports Complex. Interviews were conducted to fill positions for both day and evening maintenance in preparation for the game season starting on April 25th. An agreement was entered into with Sports Fields for monthly field maintenance checks in heavier duty areas on all 4 fields. Any areas needing to be addressed will be handled by their staff to supplement the daily work done by Public Works and the venue department. Public Works finalized tune-ups on all maintenance equipment for delivery to the complex in April. Lastly, we have the historic Ford hangar. Logistical planning and run of show outlines continued being developed for the 100th anniversary celebration of the Ford hangar in 2026. September 18th and 19th are the finalized dates of all events connected with the anniversary celebration. September 18th, the Ford Hangar Centennial Gala, scheduled from 6 to 10 p.m. September 19th, Ford Hangar Centennial Expo and Aviation Showcase, scheduled for 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And planning has also begun for the Lansing Aviation Youth Career Day, which will be held next Thursday, April 30th in the hangar. This event will introduce middle school and high school students to multiple avenues to explore in the world of aviation. And that concludes the March report.
Thank you. That's all I have for you.
Thank you, trustee. We're going to move on to public comment. Public comment is for anyone that would like to come up to the microphone. Approximately 5 minutes. If you would please give your name and your address as you come up to the microphone. Thank you.
Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good evening, Mayor, trustees, ladies and gentlemen. So, my name is Lanye Exxon, and I'm the founder of Safe and Beautiful Transition Housing for Women. I've been moving forward with this program since December, and I have been doing, sending emails, and I have not been getting any replies back, so I just came in person to see exactly how how do I move forward with the program? You know, I emailed everybody up here, and I'm just trying to understand exactly, you know, how do I move forward with it? You know, how do I get a response from everyone? Because this has been going on since December, and I just feel a little ignored, you know, and I have complied with what, you know, the administrative asked me to do. So I just need to know, how do I move forward, ladies and gentlemen? Because I don't know exactly what to do.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I know you've been having communication with our village administrator, Mr. Podgorski, and I believe he's going to kind of address some of your concerns around.
Okay.
Hi, Lonnie.
How you doing?
Very good. I think you've been persistent and patient. We appreciate that. Planning department and myself are continuing to work on where we think transitional housing would best be suited. We think we probably have something to recommend internally to the mayor, and then ultimately bring it to the planning and zoning board, and then it would come to this board. I know you want to do it out of your house. That's something we're giving some thought to. And some of the things that we've talked to you about internally are some of the issues that we're discussing internally and deciding whether or not they could be recommended. So we haven't forgot about you. It's not the easiest of asks. It is we have to look at the character of the neighborhood when we're discussing where transitional housing best fits, and that's what we're diligently working on. So hoping to have something to bring to the planning and zoning board, if not this month, maybe next month.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone else have anything for public comment? If not, I'm going to close that portion. Oh, thank you.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
I mean, as you guys can see, I'm probably the youngest person in the room, which is kind of concerning for me. So honestly, I kind of just...
Can you give me your name and your address, sir, please?
Miguel Martinez,
Okay.
2048, the 3rd Lansing Road.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, I've been someone who looks at everything going on in the world. I'm very concerned. What are you guys taking steps in addressing, say, the economic issues and the issues that a lot of the working people are facing right now with the grocery prices and the oil prices?
Well, this is public comment, so it's not questions and answers, okay? So what I would suggest is that if you have some questions that you would like to get answered, you know, maybe you could email some of the trustees or myself or our village administrator on some of your concerns that you have, and I'm sure that you know, we will definitely look into those as well.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is my first time coming here.
Yeah.
I don't really understand a lot of the rules, so yeah.
No, like I said, this is public comment, and, you know, I'm sorry, it's not questions and answers though. But like I said, you know, if you have some concerns or whatever, please feel free to reach out to any of us, and I'm sure that we'd be more than happy to address those. Does anyone else have anything for public comment? If not, I'm going to close that portion of it, of our meeting. We're going to go to old business. Do the trustees have anything for old business? Do the trustees have anything for new business? I have something that I'd like to present to the trustees and the village. Friday, I was at the Lark Dinner. So the Lark Dinner, and what they did is they awarded the Lark Ted Saylor Humanitarian Award presented to the Village of Lansing for your dedication service to the Lark community for April 2026. So it was a very nice award that the Village of Lansing received from Lark. And I just wanted to tell thank you to the trustees, thank you to the village, and thank you for being good stewards to Lark, which has been in our community for 70 years and growing. And again, I appreciate, like I said, what the village does and how hard we work. I know, you know, all our departments, our fire department, our police department, our public works, our finance, and you know, all our departments, you know, work so well with Lark on whatever maybe issues they may have, or if they have any fundraisers. And I appreciate seeing that all our departments engage in those activities, because that's what builds a very strong community, which is what we have here in Lansing. So thank you, everyone. So with that being said, I'm going to need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All right, clerk, please take a roll.
Trustee Massey?
Aye.
Trustee Zelderus?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Lamont?
Aye.
Trustee Valencia?
Aye.
We're going to take about a 2-minute recess here before we get into the committee.
Trustee Massey?
Here.
Trustee Zelderus?
Here.
Trustee Smith?
Here.
Trustee Nott? Trustee Lamont?
Here.
Trustee Valencia?
Here.
Thank you. Again, trustees, the minutes for the committee of the whole for April 7th, we'll have them for our May 5th meeting for approvals. Under the mayor's report, I do not have anything tonight. I'm going to move right on to our village administrator's report. Mr. Podgorski.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of items here this evening. The first item is we are going to hear from Visit Chicago Southland, which many of us might still remember as the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau. We have the dynamic duo of President Mary Patchen and Executive Vice President Kim Kozlowski. And this is the group that's responsible for helping to put heads in bed. These are this is the organization that helps to drive tourism to Lansing, the entire Chicago Southland. Visit Chicago Southland was located in Lansing for a lot of years, and really just because the landlord decided to take the building down, they were forced to move. So Mary and Kim don't work in Lansing anymore, but they're really long-term partners with the Village of Lansing, and I really appreciate the fact that Mary offered to come and just kind of provide just a report, you know, the impact report, to show us what activities the Southland does on behalf of Lansing and how they drive business here, how they drive travelers and tourists here to stay in our hotels. We've been featured prominently in their brochures, and I think we just one came out. I think I just got it the other day. So I really want to welcome Mary and Kim and turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate everybody's attention. I promise we will keep it under 3 hours. So just be prepared. So anyway, my name is Mary Patchen. I'm the president and CEO of Visit Chicago Southland. I have been with the Convention and Visitors Bureau for almost 27 years. The front part of my career was in the sales department. So Kim is our executive vice president. She'll tell you how long she's been with us. And she handles our executive vice president duties as well as the marketing team. So we'll go ahead and get started, but a little bit of information before we show a quick video about what is a Convention and Visitors Bureau, because honestly, our home family doesn't know what we do. So we have been around for 40 years. We're an established organization. I'm very proud to say that Lansing has been a partner with us for 39 of those 40 years. We are an accredited Convention and Visitors Bureau with distinction. This means we meet 110 metrics based on Convention and Visitors Bureaus from around the world. This is a very prestigious opportunity and award, really, that we meet all of those criteria. We have about a $2.2 million budget. We are funded in part by the state of Illinois, in part by membership fees, partnership fees, as well as hotel motel tax. And if we can go ahead and show the video, that would be great. Thank you.
Welcome to Chicago Southland, where boring doesn't exist. Just 30 minutes beyond Chicago city limits, you'll find the affordability and accessibility you're looking for in a destination. The Chicago Southland, home to the south and southwest suburbs of the city, where Midwestern hospitality means more than simple politeness. The Chicago Southland is a destination within driving distance, bursting with so many ways to have fun. Whether it's golfing, shopping, live music, family fun, sports, or dining, you're going to be constantly smiling and planning your next visit in no time. Meeting and event planners can find an array of facilities ranging from 700 to 25,000 square feet. Sports planners can find indoor and outdoor venues accommodating over 45 sports. Group leaders can choose from 21 Chicago Southland itineraries or create their own. And reunion planners will love the outdoor spaces, perfect for the next family gathering. It's no challenge to find somewhere to stay in the Chicago Southland. There are over 5,800 hotel rooms and more than 65 hotels, including major chains like Hilton, Holiday Inn, Hyatt Place, Marriott, and others. The Chicago Southland offers excellent accessibility via Interstates 55, 57, 80, 94, 294, and 355, and great air access to both Midway Airport and O'Hare International Airports. In addition, we offer great public transportation options both around the Chicago Southland region and to and from downtown Chicago. In fact, the Chicago Southland is just a 5-hour drive from 8 states, making the region a convenient destination for visitors and event attendees. Visit Chicago Southland as a complimentary resource to visitors and groups. Our sales team prides itself on personalized service by helping groups plan events and offering a wide variety of complimentary services. From brochure distribution, event listings, signage, itinerary planning, and marketing services to current financial incentives and a grant program, Visit Chicago Southland can handle it all. Visit Chicago Southland is also a one-stop resource offering visitors comprehensive travel inspiration through our website, apps, rewards, programs, social media channels, and guides. So, whether you're planning a group event or a getaway, discover all Chicago Southland has to offer today. Visit Chicago Southland, where boring doesn't exist.
Good evening, I'm Kim Kislowski. I am Executive Vice President, as Mary stated, and I have been with the CVB for, well, it'll be 36 years next week. I'm doing the math. I started when I was 10. So it actually was my internship in college, so it has just been part of both of our lives and other staff, and it's gotten in our blood, and we, sleep tourism, drink tourism, talk tourism, and she's right, our families don't know what we do. My husband thinks I march in parades and, really doesn't have an idea, but I have educated him over the years. We can go ahead and get past, there we go. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the marketing programs and what that means for Lansing. First, you see our guides on the screen, and most of them match except for the fall winter guide, because that went with the last year's design. So we take a design and we run with it for all the publications in the year. So the first one's the visitor's guide, and I like to call it the tourism Bible. Everything's in there, and not only is it good for visitors, but residents need to know what we have to see and do here as well, because everybody's a tourism ambassador. When you have family and friends come in for the weekend or for visiting, you want to take them to different things across the Chicago Southland, restaurants and events. So it's very important. Lansing fares very well with 36 listings and 30 photos/mentions. When I say photos, mentions, that's in addition to the listings. We give Lansing a complimentary full-page ad, and this year it's on the back cover. And why is that important for Lansing? Well, we print 100,000 of those this year. We are going to reduce our distribution a little bit next year based on some distribution numbers, but that is distributed at Midway Airport, at O'Hare Airport, at the tourist information centers in Illinois. We pay to have distribution in Indiana centers, Michigan centers, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. It's at our own visitor information center. So it is distributed very widely, and also other entities have it on display too. Each of the villages get their own shipment. Even though I know we have a plan to get it in the hands of visitors, because our hotels have them on hand and we pay for it to be in hotels, but residents do get use of it as well, and that's okay, as long as our plan is to get most of them in the hands of visitors. So the other guides are festival events. You'll see that spring summer, which is the second guide, well, third from the left, second from the, third from the left, that's correct. That is our current guide. So you'll see that the listings for Lansing are quite extensive compared to the fall winter, and that's because that's the same for everybody. We tend to have less offerings in our fall winter season because we don't have the outdoor. You have your Fox Point, you have the schedule that takes place there with your concerts as well as your events. And the difference this year is that we do have the 100th anniversary of the hangar. We have those events included in this guide, so that's why you'll see a few more this year in our spring summer than you saw from the last year. And the coupon book, I think the coupon book actually is an area that we can have some growth for Lansing. We use this just for our groups coming in. We try not to get it in hands of visitors. They can get the online coupons, but we try to really target the groups coming in, whether they're sporting groups or at the visitor information centers or the hotels. And so last year there were 2 Lansing coupons, this year only 1, but we do have some new members that came on, like I'm thinking of Strikes and Bites might be a good one to put a coupon in. So our partnership development person or our business development manager will put it in his head to make sure that we actually reach out before that's being done so that we can get more Lansing coupons in the coupon book. So moving on to the next slide, these are our leisure publications, but we also have some group publications, or group market publications, I should say, because we have a team that actually tries to sell our area for groups coming in. That would be sports groups coming in, or meetings and conventions, or group tours, like you saw in the video. So we added a Lansing Sports Complex sheet to our sports venue guide this year. So there's 2 pages that talk about the fields and the courts. And then we also added a half page for the Ford Hangar in our meeting planners guide, because the focus I know for Lansing now is to use that venue more than we have in the past. So that's used by our team, and they're digital. We don't print these so that we can update them frequently, but they use them in their day-to-day phone conversations or emails with their clients. Okay, we can go on to the next. So this is exciting. We do some advertising for the leisure, so that would be individual travelers, and we know we're not Disney World, we get that, but people travel for various reasons, whether it's for visiting family and friends, or making a weekend getaway, or coming to a sporting event, or maybe coming to a concert. But we actually invest in an Expedia landing page as well as advertising. And what they can do for us, they can track specifically how many hotel rooms are booked and which hotels and which cities. So if you look at fiscal year 24 is the top number in blue, then you have 25 and 26. Our fiscal year ends in June, so we're not quite done with 26. But if you look, the first 2 years, the 24 and 25 were kind of similar. But you'll notice a big increase in the current fiscal year, and that's because we've decided that we need to invest more in this program. If this is where our return on investment's coming, where we can improve hotel rooms, that's where we're gonna funnel the money. Not only that, the state runs some co-op programs, so not only are we state funded, but they also run these additional programs where we take advantage of them. So we were able to take advantage of fall and spring, summer, so they put $38,000 into it to match our $40,000 that we put into it. So that stretches the money even more. So if you look at this current year, 454 hotel rooms with just under 48,000 in revenue. So we've got 3 more months, and part of those months are in our busy season. But not only is Expedia their platform, but it also encompasses the other OTAs, which are online travel agents, which would be Cheap Tickets, Orbitz, Travelocity, and Hotels.com. So, okay, next slide. This is our website. It is going to be refreshed. But right now, this is what the homepage looks like. Lansing has 30 listings. You'll notice that there's an increase in this year. That's because we've added those sports listings. Not only do we have them in print, but we have them on our website, because everything needs to be on your website. That's all encompassing. People are constantly looking at that for content. But notice the partner listing clicks. Through our Simple View platform, which populates our website, we can actually pull all Lansing listings and say, okay, 21,778 clicks happened in this fiscal year. And you look at where we're at for the current fiscal year, it's 26,933, and we're not done yet. So that's quite a presence. Lansing is also featured in 64 travel inspirations. And what are travel inspirations? Well, when we printed visitors guides starting back 15 years ago, we started to do stories in those guides. And instead of them dying each year with the guide, when the guide is over and the new year comes out, we decided to put those on the website, so they live forever. So there's 64 travel inspirations that feature a Lansing business or partner. 30 blog articles and 4 itineraries. Next. We also have a big social media presence. We do post constantly, plus we also have some boosted posts where we put money behind some of our posts. For fiscal year 25, there were 123 mentions from Lansing. 8 of those posts we put money behind. And the breakdown for the 4 platforms are 61 mentions on Facebook, 27 on X, 20 on Instagram, and 16 on LinkedIn. We don't have fiscal year 26 because this is done manually. We don't have a program that tells us, oh, how many people did we mention? So at the end of each month, we have someone who has to calculate all that, and then we add it up at the end of the year. So that's a good presence for Lansing. You see in the posts that we are pushing the venue for a social event space. You can go on the next. This is our Threshold 360 platform. We invest so that our partners don't have to do that. They are virtual tours, so people don't have to come on site to see a space. They can just go through a virtual tour, or maybe they came on site and they wanted to have a recollection, what did that room look like, or I'm holding an event here, what did that space look like? So right now we have 2 Lansing videos. Believe it or not, we have offered every single hotel to do this free, but not everybody takes us up on that, but we continue to push for that. So we have the Holiday Inn Express, they have their video, and Fox Point. Fox Point is scheduled for a redo on their video, I believe it's June 5th. And then Ken is going to also set an appointment for the sports fields and the Ford Hangar. Now, what we'll do with those is they'll go on the listings, you guys can use them on your sites, but those sheets I showed you for the sports planning guide and meeting planners guide, we'll put QR codes on there so that a planner can actually scan with their phone and see what that space looks like. So you see that these also integrate into your Google business listings. So it's important, it's free, we're paying for it. It's a way to elevate your business listings and get more exposure for that entity. And then this is our mobile passport program. We got some ARPA funds from Cook County, and it was part of our Tourism Alive, and the goal was we were supposed to just be filling up businesses as much as we could after COVID for the recovery plan system, or recovery time, I should say. So we developed 8 passes, and in those 8 passes, there are 18 participating Lansing businesses. But the interesting thing about this is because we renew this every year, I can do any or create additional passes. So we are working on a Lansing pass that Mary's going to refer to in a little bit. So we will be, in the next quarter, we will have that finished and completed. And I believe I have one more slide. This has been my favorite program in all of my 36 years. It's these 3D signs. You guys were the pilot project. We came across this at a governor's conference, but I wanted one for us, but we had nowhere to put it, nowhere to transport it, nowhere to store it. But when Ken said, hey, I really need something at Fox Point that I can have people engage with, we came up with this pilot project. So we paid for this sign. It was the very first one done, and now there are 13 others that have been done, but you guys are the benchmark, in my opinion. We worked back and forth with design, and what I love about this sign is the peekaboo feature that you guys have, so that little kids, or even us big kids, because I think the first picture I took, that's where I was, and right where that little kid was. And so it allows to have engagement at your facility. It can move to different events. But I think what it does most is it not only promotes your brand, but it also instills residents' pride. And I feel like it's a dual, there's not much as a CVB that we can give back to communities because we have a grant and we have to follow it. It's very strict what we can do. But that's something we've been able to do, and it's been a privilege and a joy really to work with so many towns, and you guys were the first, so kudos to you guys. I'm gonna turn it over to Mary now to go on to the sales portion.
Now I get the fun slide, all kinds of numbers. So when you see sales leads in bookings, sales leads are qualified opportunities that we as a sales team, or actually our sales team, I'm not part of that anymore, but our sales team goes to national trade shows, they work on different sales initiatives, they prospect. We attend these regional and national trade shows on behalf of the Chicago Southland, including Lansing. So these are actual opportunities that were presented to our hotel properties for them to submit bids. Now, usually we're not just in competition within our own properties, we're in competition around the whole collar of the city of Chicago. So we really focus on trying to get these groups here and to get them to book. And part of that is this lovely last line item called incentives. So while I know municipalities have different types of incentive programs, so do we. We actually do an incentive program based on actualized room nights. So we need to remain competitive. These are dollars that are spent by the Chicago Southland Convention and Visitors Bureau to entice groups to book somewhere in the Chicago Southland region. So in order for us to get 1,066 room nights booked in fiscal year 24, we did spend about $4,000 to do that based on those actualized room nights. So those are tools within our repertoire of things that we have to try to entice groups to book here. Now what I will say is once True by Hilton opens up, that'll generate a whole different type of lead situation for Lansing. Because of the meeting space involved, it'll just kind of change the dynamics. Right now it's predominantly the social market, the group tour market, and the sports market that generate the leads and the booking opportunities. And I will say what is not included in these numbers is when we have a motor coach bus. Actually, we had 2 come through at one time. Toby Fitzpatrick on our team, she's our group tour market manager. She was so excited to get a double motor coach bus. And they actually came and had lunch at Beggars. And Ken Reynolds was able to come and greet the bus. And those attendees talked about that. They're usually seniors or boomers. They talked about it for the whole trip, just how entertaining Ken was. So while that's not included in the numbers, there may be somebody utilizing a restaurant, utilizing an attraction, coming to Fox Point. So for us, it's not just about the heads and beds, it's also about getting people into the restaurant, seeing the attractions. Next slide. So speaking of those sales trade shows, this is really important to see because we're out there nationally. In fact, we have 2 staff people right now at 2 different trade shows. One is in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The other is in Las Vegas, Nevada. However, we do attend anywhere between 15 to 20 trade shows on a given fiscal year based on return on investment. But why is this important to Lansing? Those are the 5 different trade shows Lansing has benefited from with us attending. We have booked motor coach groups from those 5 trade shows staying here in Lansing. And some of those are repeat business. In fact, we have one coming up here in a couple of weeks in May. So those are really important. You might think, how do you compete? But we are competing. And let me tell you, Toby is like a dog with a bone. She is out there, she will beg, borrow, and cry to get business to book here. So we have a sales team who is really passionate about what they do. They are selling all we have to offer and doing everything we can to get those groups to stay here. Next slide. And then sales program C-Vent. I think maybe some of you have registered for events through C-Vent, things along those lines through your careers. Why C-Vent is important to a sales department? We are put with probably 300,000 venues in the world. So what we do, we invest, much like the Van Wango program and other programs like Threshold 360, we invest a heavy amount so our hotels do not have to invest. What that does, it elevates the Chicago Southlands. I guess we come up on the first 2 pages of searches versus on page 30. So that's really good when you have one of 155,000 meeting and event planners worldwide looking for a location. We feature Lansing both in why do you choose a destination, because of course we're the Chicago Southland, and when you talk about suburbs, not everybody recognizes which suburbs are where, but we talk about the Lansing Municipal Airport. We have the virtual tours, those Threshold 360 tours. I kind of sold my secret a long time ago, but we actually put those virtual tours on this event platform. So meeting planner looking for the Chicago South suburbs or the Chicago area, they can click on any of those venue resources and go to the virtual tour right there. And then we do feature Fox Point as well under local attractions. But that is all information that any one of the 155,000 meeting and event planners could see. And C-Vent is important for Lansing. Those are groups that have been booked through the C-Vent platform for Lansing. So just to kind of give you a little bit of an idea, 15 groups in fiscal year 27, year to date, this fiscal year, 10 groups. But you can see the RFP values, that's request for proposal, those are what the program or event, economic impact. Next slide. And then of course, we are assisting with the American Discovery Trail Town Initiative. I myself am sitting on the committee with Mr. Wilson back there. And we are helping to encourage local businesses to participate in the Van Wango program, as Kim mentioned. This will be, an initiative taken on by ourselves as we are paying for that platform, but we are working with the Lansing Area Chamber of Commerce to do that. We are also helping in the community coordination of the America 250 Relay. This is quite the endeavor. I mean, they are traveling 6,800 miles across the country. Our 2 slated days are in the middle of October. We are working from Mokina all the way to the state line. We are helping to assist and coordinate those efforts through our office. So we have a cohesive, different type of relay out here, hopefully to generate some media coverage. And then of course, our regional trail support plans. So those are just the different things we would do to help when Lansing becomes the American Discovery Trail Town. So we are looking forward to the partnership. We love working on the committee and helping John and all of his expertise and knowledge. And that concludes my Trail Town initiative, but what I do want to say is Lansing does have 2 members on our board of directors, Amish Patel, who is the GM and owner of the Holiday Inn Express Chicago South in Lansing, as well as village clerk, Brady Paravich. So she is instrumental, she comes to all of our meetings, she asks great questions. Amish, he's on our executive committee, he's been with us since the very beginning. And as always, if anybody would like to come to our board meeting, just let us know, we'd be happy to invite you. But that concludes our Visit Chicago Southland report.
Are there any questions for Mary or for Kim?
I just want to say thank you. It is a privilege working with you, Mary, and Kim, and your staff. You guys are always so welcoming. And again, I want to say thank you for stepping up to our American Discovery Trail, which, I know John Wilson has been working really hard, with the committee on that as well, and trying to get, like I said, our chamber and some of our chamber members, involved in that as well. So you guys really do. You guys work your tail off, and I want to just let you know that I recognize it and I appreciate it.
Thank you. And we could have gone on for a few more hours, but in the interest of time, but as always, if anybody has questions, Dan does have packets for everybody. Our business cards are in there. We're happy to answer any questions. If you see something a competitor is doing, even better, let us know. We can investigate and proceed.
Thank you. Mary, thanks a lot. Thanks for the outreach and this impact study. And when I described you and Kim and Visit Chicago Southland as true partners, it's the involvement on the Trail Town Committee. It's knowing the both of you for as many years as we have, and people can see your dedication, not just to Lansing, but to the entire area. So we're lucky to have two of you leading the Bureau, and thanks for being here tonight. And it's also a good thing we didn't have Ken Reynolds here tonight. We wouldn't want Ken. Been able to get to the door. Wouldn't have got to the door. So we timed it perfectly. Okay, so this is so thank you both. So this is a perfect segue into our next item. We're going to give a report on the Lansing Greenway extension. So this is the bike path extension that's going to connect the Thorn Creek Trail to the Pensy Greenway. John Wilson's been working on this for the village. He's also heads up the American Discovery Trail Town Committee in Lansing, and that's where we see Mary once a month. And so John has to present to us tonight kind of an overall update, but a specific update from CSX, because that's one of the other agencies whose property we have to cross to make this Lansing Greenway actually take place. So I'll turn it over to John for probably a quicker review on the CSX preliminary engineering agreement, and maybe a bit longer on the overall project update.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. I know what it's like to be second place following Mary and Kim. So, two rock stars, that's all I'm gonna say. Mary and I go back about 26 years, so the village of Lansing has two rock stars working for you in the village. The Lansing Greenway project is a very important project for Lansing and beyond. Just to update you, right now we have the Pensy Greenway, we have the Thorn Creek Trail here, and there's a huge gap. That red line is the Lansing Greenway. That gap, when the Lansing Greenway is finished, will be eliminating a huge gap, which is in the Grand Old Trail, American Discovery Trail, and the Great American Rail Trail, all long distance trails, East Coast, West Coast, coming through Lansing. So when Mary talks about heads on beds, it's important that she and Kim are involved in the Trail Town project, because people will be coming through Lansing. Build it, and they will come. So it started out with the Lansing Greenway. We've been working with Forest Preserve property, the first link connected to the Thorn Creek Trail, since about spring of 2005. The current status of that, May 22nd, the mayor, Dan, along with many Forest Preserve officials, walked this area, and we determined that this was the best route to travel through Lansing Woods. May 7th, the project will go before the Forest Preserve Committee meeting. From that point, I would imagine the village will be doing a draft IGA that we will look at and negotiate the Forest Preserve. Once that IGA is approved, it'll go to the Forest Preserve Board for approval. We're kind of putting May and June as that time frame for the IGA review. Hopefully we can get things done by July. If not, I'm assuming September will be the last month for getting this portion of the project done. Project then will go travel on the ComEd property from the Forest Preserve to Whitworth Avenue. That project, we started the conversations again in the spring of 2005 with ComEd. It's made all the reviews. And right now, preliminary approval, I would say, from the ComEd that the recreational lease agreement will be issued to Lansing for the trail, provided Robinson Engineer gives them the additional requested information, which Jeff heard in the audience, they've got that information and are working on it. Once we get to Whitworth Avenue, our next obstacle that's in your packet tonight, CSX Railroad will be crossing that track on Whitworth Avenue. Just a heads up, I'm sure Jeff will confirm this, dealing with the railroad and bike trail doesn't happen overnight.
If John, interrupt you, Fabian, could you move ahead to where the railroad is? A couple more, right there. There you go.
We started chit-chatting with the railroad in January of 2025. October, we sent the preliminary package to the railroad along with a payment for the review. And just April 5th, we received the preliminary engineering agreement for the village review that's on your agenda tonight in your packet, which we agree is pretty fast for the railroad. So we've got their attention, we don't want it to stop. But you can see that the trail will be coming here on the ComEd property, north side, going north on Whitworth, and then crossing the railroad tracks. There's no crossing there now. The sidewalk on the north side of the tracks stops. Nothing on the south side. So this is improving an intersection for trails. Also, in the works, the village has applied for a Safe Routes to School grant, not to confuse anybody, but this portion of the trail could be a part of that. So having a safe crossing across the CX tracks would be helpful. The trail then will proceed north on the 186th Street, both on the west and east side of the Whitworth Avenue.
Fabian, can you advance?
To the U5, 4. That's the 4.
Yeah. I did it in 2 different ways.
No. This is attachment 4. It's coming up to 186th and Whitworth Avenue. You see the trail coming across. Currently, we're working with Saxton Properties. We've had a meeting with them on March 16th. Robinson Engineer has presented a new enhanced 186th Street with the bike trail on the south side of a renovated 186th Street. This property in the northwest corner, 186th, or excuse me, southeast corner of 186th, potentially could be the Trail Town site. Almost like a visitor's bureau for people coming through Lansing from the Pinson Greenway, from Thorn Creek Trail on the west, Pinson Greenway on the east, to get information about Lansing, lodging, banking, restaurants, grocery stores, doctors. That right now is the tentative plan, and plans are moving forward. But going back to the railroad, in your package you have all the information with CSX. The agreement you have, I'll be honest with you, they put in their public project manual. They've worked with many municipalities, and the agreement you have is basically the based template that they've seen over the history of time to work with everybody. So you can review that, look at it, talk about it. I'll just caution you what they tell us is that if you start revising items, it'll take longer and more money. So, but you gotta do what's best for Lansing. The Trail Town, this shows you all the trails coming through Lansing, new map. We have Great American Rail Trail goes from Washington to Washington State. The American Discovery Trail goes from Maryland to San Francisco. And the Grand Illinois Trail goes from Chicago downtown to Lansing to Mississippi and back through northern Illinois back to downtown Chicago. So Lansing has a lot of potential. People do want to take these trails. They ride by locally. Everyone can use these trails. The Trail Town project that Barry just talked to, got to tell you thank you to the village board for appointing the committee. There's 5 rock stars. And headed up by Mary, and whether she's here tonight or not, she's done a fantastic job working with the chamber on trying to get Lansing-based businesses that can support hikers and bikers. So when someone comes into Lansing, and I hope I explained this right, Van Wango passport they'll have there, we'll put it probably on a trail marker along the trail coming to Lansing, so someone can take their phone, hit the QR code, and see all the Lansing-based communities that service bikers and walkers. Bikers, walkers, rollers, everybody. So they've really done a super job with those. And again, whether they're here or not, they've done a super job. Safe Routes to School, we hope to hear soon. It's a $100,000 grant from the village, and we applied for to survey safe routes to our various schools in Lansing. So we hope to hear about that soon. I hope I did okay following these two.
It's a tough one.
I know, I was hoping my family photos here and stuff.
Well, if you could put Barb up there.
Yeah.
It would. So, just real quick, so the preliminary engineering agreement from CSX, it's pretty cut and dried. I mean, bottom line is, we're asking CSX to put this bike crossing over their property. It spells out, you know, that we're asking them to do that. We have to prepare all the plans and submit it to them. They review it, and they tell us whether they like it or they want us to amend something. They estimate it's gonna cost $18,700 to do it. We've already paid them $5,000, so we owe them a check for $13,700, and that gets the ball. That's essentially what's in the preliminary engineering agreement. We're probably gonna get something similar with the Forest Preserve and ComEd as well, because they're gonna having to be doing the same things.
ComEd's agreement will be rather lengthy for you guys to review, and I know you can negotiate with that. We did it for the Park District. The Forest Preserve, the same thing. It's a different world out there than it was in 2010. With CSX, we're trying to save some money. In our talks with them, before Robinson Engineer starts on plans, we're going to plan to have a Zoom meeting with everybody to get all expectations, safety concerns, everything on the table, so we're not doing plan over plan over plan. But once they approve the preliminary plans submitted, then the construction agreement will come before the board also.
Mr. Wilson, I got a question maybe Chip can answer as well. So as far as the physical barriers at the crossing, the thing that's costing the $18,000, would that be similar to what we have along like 186 at Oakwood, where there's an established crossing with gates and then the sidewalk is immediately adjacent to the road, where there's just another little barrier, little arm comes down, something that stops pedestrians?
Yeah, typically with a multi-use path, we will have to have separate gates on the bike path crossing itself. So yes, to answer your question, it'll be a separate crossing aside from the road. So you'll have your Wentworth Avenue crossing, you'll have your curb and gutter, you'll have whatever distance, 5-7 feet we can, accomplish working with the railroad, then a separate 10-foot multi-use path that will likely have their own gates that are activated along with the other flashing lights and gates.
John, so what we're building on the railroad is essentially a sidewalk that will connect to the existing sidewalk heading north on Wentworth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And John,
Can you go back to the mirror slide, please?
And John, I like that you mentioned, the safe steps as well. But, as that crossing, like I said, for the CSX, there at Wentworth, as you come out of the ComEd area, as I think a lot of us here know, there is no crossing there. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen kids on their bicycle coming out of Nathan Hale, and possibly going down Wentworth Avenue. They have to go actually into the online traffic to get around there. So, this I think is going to, serve two purposes.
There's the existing sidewalk right now that stops right there. So this will be all new here. And just one thing, the railroad, they'd like to see a 5-foot sidewalk path. We're going to recommend 10, and yes, to answer Jeff's questions, there's more safety items needed to be addressed.
Right, because that path as it goes north on Wentworth Avenue, how wide is that? That's going to be.
It's going to be 10 feet.
It'll be 10 feet as well, right?
Yeah.
So, no, that'd be nice, because like you said, what is that, 186 in Oakwood? Again, that safe steps, the schools, that helps that. I know we're trying to get the sidewalk on the north side there pushed back a little bit, but this one here, I think is going to serve two purposes, absolutely.
And again, just to repeat, this is a huge project for a lot of people. Lansing itself and beyond, to get this connection.
So the sidewalk that's existing there now, will that stay, or does that get replaced with pavement?
That'll get replaced.
And so all the concrete's gone, and then the wide, the typical 10 feet wide, or this pavement that we're used to seeing for bike trails, that would run in that, that's in our parkway property?
Everything will be in the right of way.
Okay.
And then John, I don't know if, do we have a map that shows as it goes north, it cuts across Wentworth Avenue at approximately 188th, is it?
Yeah, no, we don't have that.
Oh, okay, all right. But anyway, it cuts across, and then it goes along the fence line, roughly, at the old, what it used to be called the Lansing Country Club.
And the reason why we went from the west side to the east side of Wentworth at that point, if you stand near the railroad crossing, it's a hill. So farther back, there's more visual for bikers, walkers crossing the street. It's just safe.
Absolutely.
And again, this portion on the west side could tie into the safe cross to school. Now that we have a legit safe crossing, that when the kids could go walk to school in that neighborhood.
John, I'm just going to say, I know you've been working on this project for quite some time. I see in your face that you see light at the end of the tunnel there. And no pun intended with the railroad tracks either. Yeah. But yeah, you've been working really, really hard. I'm just saying, the year that I've been, mayor and working with you, I mean, there's no doubt you put a lot of time.
As I said, this project was like deja vu, what's that, the Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Because all this stuff we talked about here tonight, I did, I was the director of the Park District in 2010.
Right.
But this whole project has been going on basically since 2000, when we arrived.
Right.
And the village was working on it 15, 20 years before that.
Right. But I see the ball kind of roll a little bit quicker.
It's a few more years.
Yeah.
This is it's a different world.
Yeah.
15 years difference.
But I'm glad that you're staying on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do see, like I said, some results happening. And we're going to get, this trail, that's going to connect, like I said, the Patsy Green Night to the Thornton Creek bike trail, which will be, like I said, a big piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. That's good. And I appreciate the board's, interest in.
Any other questions on the CSX preliminary engineering agreement? Now, we'd like to get that on the agenda in a couple of weeks. Okay, very good, John. Thanks so much. Mayor, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Thank you, Mr. Podgorski. We're going to move on to our village attorney's report. Mary Claire?
No report tonight.
Thank you. We're going to move on to finance and HRC, trustee Smith.
Thank you, Mayor, no report.
Trustee. Moving on to airport and insurance, trustee Valencia.
Nothing tonight, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, trustee. We're going to move on to fire and economic development, trustee Abbasi.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to turn things over to our planner, Maura Rodoni, and also invite Nicole Mikowski up as well. We're going to be hearing a request for some facade assistance for some property over on Chicago Avenue.
Okay, did you want to present first, and then I can give it to Nicole? It's up to you. No. Okay. And this is coming up. Here we go. Okay. Before you tonight is an application from Mikowski's Real Sausage for the Application Career Facade Improvement Grant. This was a program that was implemented by the village to help business owners in terms of advancing and promoting the front facade of their buildings. There are a number of individual criteria that need to be met, as well as those items that are eligible. The application is before you for this. And again, this program has been in the village for a while, and it was implemented to further enhance not just the individual businesses, but commercial, industrial, within your commercial corridors as well. So here's just kind of a little bit of overview for it, just for everyone's kind of knowledge on here. The overall project appearance, obviously, is for the commercial corridor. It's for the front facades of the buildings, so any of those items. Eligible cost up to $100,000 for the entire project. The applicant has two projects, as we've known in history, that they have 16700 Chicago Avenue and 16710 Chicago Avenue, both adjacent buildings on the west side of Chicago Avenue, where they have done both interior as well as exterior improvements. The grant here that they are requesting is just for those exterior improvements. They are seeking a reimbursement of 40% of the eligible cost for those items, and both is in each independent application. So I kind of give you a little bit of beginning here is we'll start at 167. This is what the project was before. There are replacements for overhead doors, signage, windows, awnings, some additional front doors, as well as some additional windows. For the request for $167,000, $14,445.48. Here kind of is a little bit of an overview. The overhead doors, here are the awnings, as well as then windows in front. The signage here, as well as then the awnings and the logos, as well as then the front door. The second one is at 16710. This is a before picture of the property. And here they're looking for a little bit more extensive that we would see because of the nature of the building. It has some over dock seals and some overhead doors that have to be replaced and modified, as well as then signage, logos, some new awnings that we had, as well as then new front doors and windows. And here there was some tech pointing as they had done some modifications with respect to removal of some of the loading docks, as well as then just sprucening up the front facade. This request is for $32,037. Here are the items as well. Here's some more signage here, as well as then the awnings, and then some work at the overhead docks. And I believe this is where it was over a loading dock as well. So that was some of the additional front facades that have been done. Just to give you then kind of the aha moment of seeing that a program at work is that here are the before pictures of 16710, and here is the after picture showing the great improvements that that Nicole has done to this building, as well as then 16710 and 16710 on the bottom there. Again, showing that it's meeting the purpose and the intent of your grant program that you have. This is a program, obviously the improvements have been done. Your program does allow for after the fact of reimbursement for these as well.
I'm back. Can you believe it's been 14 months? Like, how awesome that I'm
and what we've been able to do, it feels so good to be home. We really feel like Lansing is our home, and I can't thank you enough to everybody that's been so supportive and welcoming, and we just absolutely love it here. It's been a life-changing event for me, moving this company and coming here and having the support of everyone here. And it's sausage season, it's going, and it's been great. So, and hopefully everybody's really impressed with what we've done. It's been very exciting, so thank you so much.
Thanks, Nicole. I'll just say as someone who is down that street probably 3-4 times a week at the sports complex, it has made such a significant difference, the facade improvement and the liveliness to the area, having your company there. And so I do just want to, say that this program, it really does enhance our village and the opportunity to support businesses as they fix the exteriors. We have towns coming from all over Indiana to play at the sports complex. We've got towns this year from Dalton, Stager, East Side Little League, South Holland Little League, all coming to Lansing to play at our complex. And so having a business invest in their properties, it does make a difference to our community. And so Nicole, thanks for the work you've done to those buildings. It looks great.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicole, I gotta ask you, I know you have a walk-in, people can come in and buy, correct? So how's that been going for you?
It's been going pretty well. We talk about a flattering moment. I had somebody come from Medford, Wisconsin, which is where my dad retired, and it's about a 6-hour drive, just to come down to see the new plants and check us out. And she bought a bunch of stuff. So we're seeing Chicago customers come in. We had customers really from all over the suburbs. So little by little, they're finding us, and even a lot of locals. We had some union workers pop over. Oh, my buddy was here. Oh, okay, yeah, let me help you. So it's been great. We're very excited, and we hope that we get more community to come see us. We're open to the public. We make really good sausage.
You sure do.
And I think everybody in this room is trying to promote you, but again, you've been around for, your company's been around for, what is it, 100 years, is it?
104. 106.
years,
Sorry,
right.
106.
Yeah, right, exactly. So again, we are blessed and thanks for being in Lansing. And like I said, I know it's been kind of a long road, 14 months. But I know working with staff here and everything, and Maura and Mr. Podgorski and staff here, it's really, it's great to see. As Trustee Lawson said, it is nice going down, seeing the improvements day by day on Chicago Avenue. And it's going to continue too.
Yeah, we have more planting, but we're waiting for the street widening because I don't want to plant and then we've got to take the plants out. So as soon as the street's done, then the green will go in.
Hopefully by the end of the year. I think that's what Mr. Pintar said.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Trustees, I know we're going to have I believe we got a video presentation that David's going to play. But before we get there, I do want to offer an opportunity for trustees to ask a question regarding the facade application to either Maura or Nicole.
Yeah.
Any specific questions regarding the application itself? Okay, great. David, do you want to go ahead and play the video?
Nicole, feel free to tell us what they're seeing.
Oh, this is we had a grand opening, and so I had a photographer, and then I had a drone footage going also. So it just kind of captures everything that we did. So not only facade facing, but all the mechanicals on top of the buildings are brand new as well. Everything was redone. So it was really neat to have her out here and to capture everything that we're doing. This is before we replaced the signs. So the signs were not up for the grand opening, but you can see just brand new roofs on both buildings, all new asphalt, all new concrete, everything, new windows, all the tuck pointing that we did. So really big investment to both buildings, but it definitely feels like home. So it's really, really cool.
Is that your dad, sir?
That's me. Mic drop. Did the mic drop.
We had about 80 people at our grand opening, which was really neat. And then one of my vendors, Berwyn Chicken Company, he was cooking sausage for us. It's my staff up there, my family.
What I'm gonna say next has no impact on consideration for the facade application, but I just wanna, thank Nicole for what she said she's doing Lansing home, and she really has, last year, Nicole and Mikowski Sausage donated hot dogs for our Little League and softball programs for our opening day, and I know she's going to this year as well, and so already just new to the community, but already, volunteering to help our youth, and so, Nicole, we thank you for that, and, we really enjoyed having you in town, and we get excited for helping businesses like yours that are bringing great value to our town.
You're so welcome. It's a two-way street. So check me out, Meat and Poultry. I was on the cover. It's huge. Mentioned Lansing. Super excited. So they're a nationwide meat magazine. Super exciting that I got an opportunity to do that. But anytime I can promote Lansing, you better believe I'm always here to do it.
Thank you. Trustees, if you have nothing further, please leave this on the agenda for the next village board meeting for consideration.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Next, I'm going to invite Supervisor of Communications, Brian Weiss, forward, and maybe Police Chief Pointer, or no, or Fire Chief, no?
I'll defer to Mr. Weiss. He's far more knowledgeable.
Brian, you're going to talk about some radios for the fire department?
Yes, sir.
All right, take it away.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you very much. Tonight I'd like to present a ask for fire department mobile radios. We can go ahead and move to the next. What you got? Oh, okay, even better. Within the last 6 months, the Cook County Sheriff has opened up 800 megahertz channels for the fire department. This is a first for them. They have been solely police for years and years and years and years. They recognize that the fire departments also need the ability to have interoperability. These channels are going to act as daily operation channels for a lot of departments and interoperability channels like we have talked about before with our police department. As a result of this, many neighboring fire departments have begun transitioning to or using these channels. Chief, if I'm correct, is it 22 or 23 departments in our area, Mavis?
Yep.
More than half of them are going to be using the county frequency for either their day-to-day use or for interoperability. We are assisting other agencies all the time, and they are assisting us. When these mutual aid and auto aids go on, we need to be able to talk back and forth to all the communities. This isn't necessarily something that we want to spend money on right now if we didn't have to. This is more of a we have to, because Cook County went and did this and these other fire departments are jumping on it. If we don't do this, our operations daily are going to be affected, the efficiency and the safety of firefighters, and the ability for them to communicate with everybody with different towns. We also work with Munster, Indiana, who's on a Lake County, Indiana 800 system, and we're going to start working with, I believe, Hyden and Dyer soon. So that just, once again, solves all that problem. The fire at Mavis, they are going to be moving everything that I have seen, and if I had to make an educated guess, that probably within 5 to 6 years, they're going to switch everything over to 800 megahertz, just like everybody else is doing. In order to make this work for their mobile units, we would need 13 Motorola APX 4500 mobile radios capable of working in the 800 megahertz range. All their portables are already capable of this. We're potentially looking at maybe a couple more portables, but right now at the mobile radios, the cost for the 13 would be $69,143.63. This is on the state purchase contract price from Motorola. Due to the complexity and difficulty of installing equipment in fire apparatus, the fire department have a preferred vendor that they use, EBT in Mokina. So in addition to that, I'd like the board to consider an amount not to exceed $5,000 for installation. It's actually pretty involved and pretty hard climbing around ambulances and fire trucks, routing all this stuff through it. So the total asking price would be $74,143.63. This has actually been accounted for in this current fiscal year 911 budget, and we had budgeted $76,000 for it. This is something that for the fire department is going to affect their daily operations and also pave the road for the future for them.
Brian, thanks for that presentation. I'll just kind of start us off with some questions just that I had. In terms of current radio systems that are in the apparatus, is there any kind of resale value in any of that, or will those remain in the apparatus?
Those will remain in the apparatus for now because those are all in the VHF frequency, so those will not be abandoned. It's not like they're going to turn the switch off. That's probably going to be 5 to 6 years out, if that. And to be honest, at that point, the resale value on that equipment, because it'll probably be close to 10 or 11 years, we'll probably retain VHF capabilities as a fallback, because most agencies would. At the end of the day, you've got all your digital stuff lined up. It's always good to have an old analog fallback to work on if something happens.
Got it. And then just from my knowledge base, so I know maybe within the last year, 2 years, I think we maybe bought some portables recently for the fire department. So this does not, those portables, that investment in those already gives us access, like you said, to this 800 megahertz range?
Yes, in fact, those that when we purchased them, we made sure that they were dual band capable, so they've already been programmed, I believe, with these county channels in them. We would this fiscal year probably looking at, I think they have 4 left that are older ones that cannot be updated. But that investment we made in those radios, all it was programming on those. We didn't have to purchase any new ones for that.
Got it, thank you. Trustees, other questions on this agenda item?
So the portables are good. So when we say mobile radios, we're talking about vehicle mounted.
Yes, sir. Yep, they're actually in the rigs. So in the dashboard of the ambulance or on the deck of the engine inside. So these are the ones they're going to be using. So for instance, if we get towed out on an auto aid for a Calumet City structure fire, what's going to happen is that, that's an example for a different town, but for South Holland, our units are automatically going to have to switch over to a Cook County 800 fire frequency to talk to South Holland and to every other company that's coming in, every other town to that. So without this, they won't be able to do that.
So this covers fire trucks, ambulances.
And then their command vehicles.
Command vehicles.
Yep.
Sounds good. Always great when we anticipate this, plan accordingly. I just saw a number that we had in the budget meetings again for the next fiscal year. Seems like we just got done doing that. As we go forward, when we anticipate this project, plug them into our budget, and then come that close to the dollar item, just very reassuring. It shows that we've been doing some very good homework, and that we're prepared to go ahead and give our first responders the tools they need to do the job.
Exactly what Administrator Mike Gorski said yesterday. So, like, to Brian's credit, he's had some pretty decent work on about all of this investment, and if the board recalls, we spent a lot of money the last couple of years. This fund, again, remember, this is its own separate fund, it has about $900,000 in it, and I think Brian's credit of the last year, that surcharge on it was going to allow it to build up, so.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, you made Brian Hannigan happy. You saved him about $1,800 also.
Any day we can make Anakin happy is a good day.
Yeah.
Chief, I know Brian's done a good job of presenting this, but anything you want to add to this?
There again, I just like to thank Brian for just the work they do, really kind of keeping us front and center. I know he was real integral and kind of, 7 years ago, bringing us into the world of CAD and then also into the world of kind of our alerting system now. So yeah, he's done a great job. I can't thank him.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate that.
Brian, great job as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
If it's on the agenda for the next meeting, that'd be appreciated. All right, Chief Boyga, Project Lifesaver.
I promised we'll make this summer.
Thank you, Trustee. Board, Mayor, again, good evening. This is nothing drastically new to everybody. We've kind of gone through this before. I just sort of get in front of everybody this evening. Again, I've been promising we're gonna roll this out in kind of first, second quarter of this year. So we are on the threshold of getting ready to release Project Lifesaver. So just wanted to kind of bring everybody kind of full circle with it. All right, so again, what is it? Again, Project Lifesaver is a program of proactive involvement in specialized operations, responding to incidents of victims of Alzheimer's, autism, Down syndrome, and other related disorders that where they have a potential to wander away from a safe location and have difficulty finding their way back to safety. This is one of the most widely used and probably most effective search and rescue programs designed for this at-risk population. It's also a nonprofit, so there's like, and that's buying the equipment and kind of supporting this company. You know, this isn't, they're not in it for the money, they're really in it just to kind of help people locate their lost loved ones. Again, their whole motto is dedicated to bringing their loved ones home. You know, what are the benefits if we kind of run this into, or we bring this to Lansing? Again, number one, it provides a timely response to saving lives and also reducing any kind of injury for adults or children with the propensity to wander. Again, I think it also brings a little bit of, peace of mind for caregivers of, people having Alzheimer's, Down syndrome, traumatic brain injuries, autism, knowing that there's kind of like a stopgap or almost like a secondary line of protection in case they would wander away. It bridges the gap also between first responders and our community members of our community. It helps us to really kind of form relationships not only with the families, but the individuals themselves, and kind of really work to build trust between the residents of the village and the fire department. Again, this is also over time proven to reduce the time spent searching, money spent searching, and manpower needed for search and rescue missions. And most importantly, it can save lives. And I mean, this is proven across the United States and Canada, where you will have somebody that will just kind of wander off and they activate this system, and in most cases they can find them. Again, it's not just, there's really three entities that really make Project Lifesaver work. Number one is going to be the client, and a client would be an individual diagnosed with Alzheimer's, autism, Down syndrome, or traumatic brain injury. And kind of the job of our client in this program is to wear the button on the wrist or ankle. And I'll show you a picture of what they call the button, the Project Lifesaver button. Again, second component is the caregiver. Again, they're a big part of that. They're the second most important part of the program. And if somebody's going to enroll their loved one into this program, there are a couple of responsibilities a caregiver must have. One, they must reside with the person. And a big thing is the battery on the Project Lifesaver button, or kind of looks like a little watch, needs to be checked once a day. I mean, it's just, things have to work to make the program successful. They also need to log the battery check, and we'll supply them with a calendar. They need to coordinate a monthly battery replacement with the fire department coordinator. So basically, this means that they would just come to the firehouse, or if we can work it out, we can come to them in some cases and just switch out the battery. And then the biggest thing probably is to immediately notify dispatch if the client does wander away. And then we ask that they would remove the transmitter if they become hospitalized and notify us. Number three is the fire department. Again, our responsibilities as a member in Project Lifesaver is we'll be conducting search efforts if the client goes missing. And again, I foresee us partnering with the officers as well at some point. I don't know if I want to give you guys another project. We'll kind of figure it out, and then we'll bring our friends in blue on board. Conduct annual training in electronic search and rescue, so we will do this as well. Provide the onboarding process for families and their loved ones related to the equipment. And again, performing monthly battery changes and educating the public about Project Lifesaver, and just continue to administer. So the components, real quick. Again, the button, kind of watch-looking thing, transmitter and band. Comes in different colors. That gray thing is just kind of the cover that houses the, just kind of the signal, and also the battery. You know, kind of some of the tricks we learned as we kind of were onboarded into this program was, you know, we kind of want to make it fun. That's why we bought some different, you know, bands. We want to make sure that everybody's comfortable with it. PLI 5000 receiver. This Star Trek looking thing actually does the brunt, the lion's share of the work. It's a pretty neat thing to watch happen, and it's you just really zero in on a signal. And then the battery tester. I think that would maybe one of the least important, but for the family, making sure that battery works is very important. And there you go. That's the battery test. And documents. Now again, we really wanted to kind of ease into this, not just blast into it kind of ill-prepared. And we've been working with Village Council on kind of having those documents kind of just proofed and make sure that they're going to work for the village here. So we have a program application, we have a program contract, we have a physician statement, we have the caregiver calendar. On my screen, when I put this together, the documents look a lot bigger. And again, it's just basically 2 blank calendar pages where you just check in your battery every day, and then emergency instructions. So in case if a client would go wandering, what he would do. Kind of our launch. Again, initially I want to roll this out with a limited number of clients. I would love to say we could just, day one, enroll everybody. But I'm a big fan of making sure we know what we're doing before we kind of launch it out. So kind of working with Trustee Avasi, he had a couple of people he had gone with, and we're kind of reaching out to other people as well, and we're gonna just kind of contact them in the next coming weeks and kind of really just work towards getting probably an initial 3 to 4 families enrolled. Yeah, so we're gonna roll it out in May of 2026. And then I'm really, at this point, forecasting kind of an open enrollment village-wide in Q1 of 2027. Any questions? Trustees, questions for Chief Coyne on Project Lifesaver? I know I've been in here a lot talking about it, so maybe
So Chief, on this band that you wear, you said it's either on the wrist or on the ankle?
Correct.
And so when it gets put on, it's kind of like permanently put on? I mean, to some degree. You bathe with it, you swim with it.
Yep.
Do activities with it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of designed where it snaps on, it's hard to remove. I actually have a neighbor who is enrolled in the program in a county, the county next in Indiana. And again, I think sometimes he doesn't like it on there, and he might want to take it off. So it's not just like a watch band where you can just, pop it off. You have to work to get it, and, it takes scissors to cut it off.
So the search part of this, that radar looking thing, that's specifically made to be used on a land base. It's not like a drone or something that we would hook up to a drone.
No, actually, so yeah, each in that little gray case, the thing that looks like a watch, there is an individual radio frequency code. So every person that we enroll has their own unique code to this. So what you do on the radar gun looking thing is you punch in that code and it will just search for that code. So then you can just kind of, what we would do, let's say if somebody would go missing, we'd go to point last seen, and then you kind of just start your search from there, and then really hone in on that radar. If I had time and I felt a little more proficient, I was going to bring one in here and just hide it. And I think maybe I will at some point, maybe later in the year, just to see kind of how it works. Or maybe I'd work with Vivian, and we could even shoot like a quick video or something. But yeah, it's really unique how it works. We also have the benefit of being next door to Lake County, Indiana. A lot of Indiana fire and police departments are big components of this. Lake County Sheriff actually has a unit mounted to a helicopter. Okay. So we have a lot of options. I think it'll be a good fit for the village.
Chief, is this for adults only or can children also?
Yes, adults and children.
So when you said the physician statement, you need to get approval from your doctor that you have either of those conditions
Yes,
listed?
ma'am, yeah, you just, well, you know, what, it isn't like, Project Lifesaver itself does not want this to just be seen as, you know, a solution to, well, nobody's home with my father who has Alzheimer's, so I wanna put this band on, and, you know, that'll take care of it. That's not the case, you know, we need to have it diagnosed by a physician document, and also having a caregiver there 24 hours a day.
So does this work like the life alert button that goes around the neck?
No, so they can't click it if there's a problem. It only works if they would wander off, and then we would have to search for them that way.
Perfect, thank you.
Chief did allow me to take an opportunity at the firehouse to try it out at headquarters and put the headphones on and kind of go around it. It's a really great tool. You know, no one's asking for this, but we're just gonna give a little personal tidbit here, but you know, a resident contacted me to put this to my attention, and I gave it to Chief Coinger, he ran with it. It's taken some time, that's okay. It's a worthwhile project. But what's fascinating is since that resident gave it to me, their daughter deals with autism and she's an eloper. I've seen it firsthand at the baseball field. One time, we were terrified that she ran into the river. And it's a terrifying thing for those parents. Since that point, I now have a daughter with Down syndrome. And she's 3 now, she's starting to run around, and she has a propensity to elope. And tools like this can make a difference. And since that point too, I had a neighbor who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. And I threw an Apple AirTag in his car, and his daughter asked me to track him because there would be times for hours we wouldn't know where he was. And so tools like this do matter for families, and so I love that our fire department is leading the way with this in the south suburbs. So thank you, Chief Coinger, for your efforts in this. And you know, if it's just used once in the next 20 years, it's worthwhile. So
yeah, and just so everybody knows, too, this is really, we've had some calls already, just from, well, you name it, from a couple suburbs out west. Hey, can I enroll my fund? This is a Lansing fund, right? This is, you know, we don't have the capability to go to other towns, but it's strictly for Lansing residents. So, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
much appreciated.
Thanks, Chief.
Mayor, I have no further items tonight.
Thank you, trustee. We're gonna move on to police and public works, trustee Sullivan.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Trustees have before them, for now, the cover letter that deals with a recommendation to award bids for concrete restoration. That was put to us by Mr. O'Neill from Public Works, and last administrator, of course, he's gonna bring us home on where we stand, what's next.
Thank you, trustee. So this is the accumulation of the concrete that was torn off over the winter with the water main breaks. So there's a 675 square feet of sidewalks, 223 linear feet of curbs, and 720 square feet of concrete driveways that were disturbed. Give credit to Superintendent O'Neill for being diligent in getting this ready early in the season. So we directed him to go out and get some bids, and had two of concrete contractors that are kind of in the mix with us on a regular basis, H3 Concrete and then Benny's. And even though the bids are presented a little bit differently, H3 Concrete just kind of gave us a unit price per sidewalk, driveway, or curb, and Benny's quoted it based on the actual address. But I did talk to Superintendent O'Neill today, and he assured me that this is apples and apples, everything is exactly the same. So the H3 bid is for $49,442.90, and the Benny's concrete bid is for $50,670, so, you know, really close. So Superintendent O'Neill is recommending we go with the low, they're both qualified bidders. He's recommending we go with the low bidder of H3 Concrete for $49,442.90. There will likely be, and there will likely be other concrete. We'll go out to bid for later this year, most likely for the sidewalks. That Safe Step identified last year as being too much of an offset to grind Those are, earmarked for replacement. So there will be another opportunity, for Benny's and the rest of them to bid. So again, my hats off to Superintendent O'Neill for, kind of gathering this list up right away. It's important that when we do have disruption because of, water main breaks, that, residents want to see their curb and their sidewalk and their driveways replaced ASAP. So yes, that's the recommendation. Great. Any questions? I know Daryl could probably fill in a couple blanks too, but I don't think there's a whole lot more than that.
Trustees have any questions about the recommendation from Superintendent O'Neill? If not, I request that this will be put on the agenda for our next village board meeting for approval. And Mayor, that's all I have for this meeting.
Thank you, trustee. We're going to move on to building, IT, L&M, marketing, trustee Lamont.
Nothing for this meeting, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. And then we're going to go to our youth center and venues operation, trustee Lamont, and trustee Nelson.
Nothing at all for this meeting as well.
Appreciate it, thank you. We're going to open it up to a public comment. Public comment would be anything that was in the committee of the whole. If anybody would like to talk about anything. Okay, we're going to close that portion of the public comment. Trustees have anything for the whole business? Trustees have anything for new business? Now I need a motion to adjourn to executive sessions to discuss matters pertaining to collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk, please take the roll.
Trustee Bassie?
Aye.
Trustee Zelfowitz?
Aye.
Trustee Smith? Trustee Lamont?
Aye.
Trustee Valencia?
5 minutes.